Audiobook 6, The Books of Infinity. Welcome back. You now have the orientation. You understand the spirit of what this journey is. Now meet the map, 11 books, each one a lens, each one a different way of seeing the same vast, unresolvable, endlessly fascinating mystery that is existence itself. These are the Books of Infinity, the Scripturae Infinitae, a whispered truth. These books were not written to shout. They were written the way you might share something with a person sitting beside you on a long journey. Quietly, carefully, with the understanding that what is being said matters, and that what matters deserves space rather than noise. A whispered truth carries differently than a proclaimed one. It asks you to lean in, to listen more carefully, to bring yourself to the words rather than waiting for the words to come to you. That is the relationship these books ask for. There are 11 lenses. Each of the 11 books approaches infinity from a different direction. The Book of Origins asks where everything began and what it means that anything exists at all. The Book of Chaos asks what happens when order breaks down, and whether chaos might be the most creative force in the universe. The Book of Questions asks why the act of questioning might be more important than any answer we could find. The Book of Energy asks what moves through everything, what animates, connects, and transforms. The Book of Purpose asks what we are here for, and whether that question has an answer, or whether asking it well is the answer. The Book of Transcendence asks what lies beyond our current categories, beyond the known, beyond the self, beyond the boundaries we have drawn around reality. The Book of Cycles asks about the patterns that repeat, in nature, in history, in the arc of a single human life. The Book of Revelations asks what it means when something becomes suddenly, irreversibly clear, when understanding arrives not gradually, but all at once. The Book of Doubt asks whether uncertainty might be a foundation rather than a flaw, whether not knowing might be the most honest place to stand. The Book of Absurd asks what we do when meaning seems impossible, when the gap between what we need and what the universe offers feels unbridgeable. And the Book of Unknowing asks what remains when everything else is set aside, when the frameworks fall quiet, when the questions stop. What is left? 11 lenses, one mystery, infinite angles. These books are not a ladder. You do not have to climb them in order to reach the top. They are more like rooms in a large and ancient house. Each room has its own character, its own light, its own particular quality of silence. You can move through them in sequence. You can return to the ones that speak to you. You can sit in one room for a long time before moving to the next. There is no wrong way to be here. What matters is that you bring your full attention, that you resist the urge to skim, that you let each book do what it was made to do, not explain the mystery, but deepen your relationship with it. The music runs alongside. Each of the 11 books has its own track, its own sonic companion. In the next chapter, Chapter 7, you will encounter each book introduced alongside its music. 11 audiobooks, 11 lenses, 11 invitations. Together, they form the heart of this entire journey. A note on what these books are not. These books are not a holy scripture in the traditional sense. They do not claim divine origin or absolute authority. They are the result of more than 20 years of thinking, traveling, listening, and living, of moving through 44 countries and countless conversations, of sitting with the biggest questions long enough to stop being frightened of them. They are one person's attempt to make something honest and useful out of the irreducible strangeness of being alive. Take what serves you. Leave what doesn't. Return when you're ready. That's all they ask. We close this audiobook with a track from the album The Books of Infinity, called The Book of Unknowing. It is perhaps the most honest title in the collection. Let it prepare you for what comes next. 11 books, 11 lenses, 11 ways of seeing. Looking forward to meeting you in Audiobook 7, The 11 Books, the Scripturae Infinitae, ready when you are.